This week on Thursdays with Rob and Paul, we are talking about haired actors taking parts away from bald men like me. I'm talking to you, Harry Connick Jr., in the live production of Annie. Also, we are talking with Xander Berkeley, who has been in literally hundreds of films, and he has been killed in, I would say, about 75% of those films. From The Walking Dead to Air Force One to the TV show V, we're going to get into every one of those films, including Terminator 2, where he learned how to swallow a sword so he could have that awesome death scene. And also on the show, Alex Fernie drops by to talk about how his daughter takes advantage of him because he celebrates both Christmas and Hanukkah. And I give you some great Elf on the Shelf ideas. Here we go. Check it out. I know you. I always like to hear what you have to say about like the state of politics in the world.
Well,
Like,
do you
always got a
like?
real good take.
I know you like my hot takes on stuff, and
Oh, man, I love
first of all, before we even get into all that, I do want to welcome everyone to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, and thank you for choosing us. You have a lot of options.
So many options on Twitch.
There tonight alone, there is Annie Live, the musical on NBC, and if you're watching this, you're probably not watching that.
Wait a second, that's happening right now. Right now, Annie Live is happening, and we are not.
Well, I mean,
I
think it's happening probably at 8. So it's happening on the East Coast. So if you're watching this,
are there going to be 2 live events, Rob? You just dropped this bomb on me, and you expect me to just like gloss over it. Annie Live is happening in New York right now.
I believe so. Yes.
Will there be 2 shows?
To be clear, Paul, I don't work for NBC. Did you think that I'm in charge of their program?
I'm just upset because as an actor, you audition.
Yes.
And as a naturally bald man, I was born bald. I never had hair.
Yeah.
Like
Charlie Brown, like
Charlie Brown. And I want to say, I didn't want to get into this, and I don't like.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's the holidays. Let it rip.
Yes, Charlie Brown is a stereotype of a bald man. He's not an actual bald man. He's drawn by someone with hair to make fun of the bald experience. And I've said it before. Charlie Brown is a disgusting stereotype that we need to eradicate. All right, the peanuts need to be cracked open and thrown on the ground and never looked at again.
Okay, well, this is a lot to process so early in the show. We really haven't even welcomed people.
I know, but I'm pissed because you tell me that Annie Live is happening right now.
But if you want to do, I feel like you were getting ready to show me your audition for Daddy Warbucks. Is that where this was going?
Wow. You're just going to jump. Yes, that's what I was saying. I auditioned for Annie Live. I was waiting. I was trying not to be the greedy. And say, hey, have we heard anything about?
No, you didn't get it. You did not get it. It's Harry Connick. You lost it to Harry Connick Jr.
The talk show host, Harry Connick Jr.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that's what he goes by. I think he is also
the actor
from
Serial Killer from
Friends.
Harry Connick
was on Friends. Yeah,
he was. I was going to say the actor from Copycat, the serial killer movie with Holly Hunter. That guy is Daddy Warbucks.
I haven't looked up his IMDb. I'm just saying that the guy from New Orleans who talks with the New Orleans, or at least from Louisiana. I don't know if he's from New Orleans.
Barry Sinise?
No.
Okay.
Look, we're getting off topic. First of all,
I mean, if you want me to sing,
I want you to do it. I want you to do it. I just want to, first of all, welcome people to the show. I always feel like it's good procedure to welcome people to the show. I don't think I've seen you with your glasses in a long time. You don't normally wear them. I don't normally
wear them. I was a glasses less day, and I was just using them. I normally wear contacts.
Oh, cool.
So I don't want to.
You can afford those.
I have a pair of contacts I've used since 6th grade. I keep them in primarily all the time. But yeah, it's the same pair of contacts. A lot of people say it's unsafe, it's unhealthy for your eye, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what I always say. But anyway, yes. So I was a glassesless day because I'm dealing with a bunch of people in my family that are all having different levels of I wouldn't even call it flu, just like runny noses and coughs and things like that. They're all COVID free. But
you mentioned that before the show, and I would just tell you, as a performer to check that shit at the door. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like when I tune into this show, I don't want to hear about people's problems. I don't want to hear about.
I hear you.
And listen. I love your family. I love.
Thank you. I appreciate. That.
Vanilla Ice and Twanch. I'm the godfather to Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, exactly.
Not technically, legally. If something happens to you, I become their dad legally.
Which was something I did not. You made me agree to that legally, and that was something
my lawyer sent that over in a DocuSign, which you signed digitally. You should have read it. But anyway, when I come to the show, I don't want to hear about problems. I want to forget my cares.
You're right.
It's like where everybody knows your name.
Friends. All right. So
give us a taste of welcome to the show. Right. If you've never seen the show, welcome to the show.
Big show tonight. Alex Fernie is here. We also have Xander Berkeley, the great Xander Berkeley, who has been in everything from Air Force One to the A-Team to 24, Walking Dead. He has Sid and Nancy. He has done it all. And then Alex Fernie, who is, if you don't know Alex Fernie, a comedy staple, writer, performer, does a great group out here in Los Angeles called Convoy. Yes. Legendary guy, great guy. They're both going to be on the show, but we have a lot to talk about. We have to talk about the holidays. I want to see how your holidays were. Last Thursday, of course, we didn't have a show because of Thanksgiving, but we have a big show to make up for it.
Big show. So welcome everybody. Now, let's get into it. So are you? Yeah. I didn't know that you had musical talent, and Annie is a musical.
No, Annie is not a musical per se. Annie is a singer, but I believe that Daddy Warbucks is not. Well, I'll show you. When I auditioned for Annie Live on NBC, when I sent in my tape to NBC Networks, they didn't ask for it, but I heard about it a couple days ago, and I sent my tape in.
Are people allowed to do that? Did they take open submissions? I'm not sure that's how it works, but
I mean, I think that's look, you gotta shoot
your shot. You gotta
shoot your shot. And by the way, speaking of that, has that gentleman who shot his shot with you, is he going to stay with you in your old New York City apartment that you gave up about 10 years ago?
I forgot all about that. No.
All right. Well, I mean, look, you're missing out. You're missing out on. If you didn't watch 2 weeks ago, Rob got a guy shot.
A guy got a shot with me and texted me. Got my phone number in a very not cool way, and then texted me 3 years later to ask if he could stay at my apartment in New York, which he assumes I live in New York. I don't.
Yeah, you don't.
Anyway, no, that did not work out for him. Right. So I would like to please hear the famous. I want to hear the most famous Daddy Warbucks song.
Something was missing.
Okay.
So I'll turn into it. Annie, I've made a fortune. That fortune made me 10. I've been headlined in Profile again and again, but something was missing. I never quite knew that something was someone but who. My speeches were greeted with thunderous acclaim at 2 universities bearing my name. Yes, something was missing each time I got through, and that something was someone but who? Who could that someone be? Need for me alone. The world was my oyster, but where was the...
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. We are going to go with Harry Connick Jr.
What?
But well, let me ask you this. Did you get any feedback from NBC when you sent them that audition?
It got sent back to me because it said I sent it to the wrong address.
Okay. You sent it to NBC@hotmail.com?
Yeah, hotmail.com. I mean, I thought that it was a pretty bang up. Like, I got in there and I even took off the hat to show off my bald head.
I did. Well, I mean, that's sort of mandatory for Daddy Warbucks. He's not going to wear a baseball hat.
Need me alone. The world was my oyster, but where was the pearl?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Find it in a little girl. Was that lyric upsetting to you?
Yeah, the way you're doing it sounds a little handsy. I don't like it.
Where was the pearl? Who dreamed I would find it in a little girl?
Okay, that's upsetting. Is that really the lyric?
The lyric. The lyric is, and I'll read it again.
No. I mean, you can go ahead. I don't care.
Okay, it's like again. I'll say like,
just speak it. Maybe just speak it.
Annie.
No, not like this.
Was okay. Annie. The world was my oyster. But where was the pearl? Who would have guessed I'd find it in you? A little girl.
Okay. Thank you so much. We are going to go with Harry Connick.
I really think that's bullshit. That's kind of that. I'm losing out to New Orleans jazzmen left and right. And this is the business that we're in, where I agree to, I'm constantly losing parts to New Orleans jazzmen. And my agents will always say,
what other New Orleans?
Dr. John. I'm losing out to Dr. John a lot. I'm losing out to Trombone Shorty. I'm losing out to a lot of different.
I don't know why you're competing for those jobs, but
John
anyway,
Popper.
I do want to say this. We've done a lot to promote Annie live, and possibly to our detriment. Like now people may not have even been aware of the show, but now they may switch over to that instead of our show. So we don't want that.
I mean, I hope they don't, because I think I gave them something right here that they're not going to see from Nicole Scherzinger or Taraji P. Henson. I think they saw something true here.
Yeah. People want to know in the chat.
Are coming in.
People in the chat want to know if you've lost jobs to John Popper.
I said John Popper. Yes, I did say John Popper. Yeah.
Okay. No, you have not missed Xander Berkeley. Xander Berkeley is coming in hot. He's coming up in just a little bit. Someone asked in the chat.
Yes.
Paul, do we have time did you want to talk about any holiday stuff? Did you want to
maybe we should maybe talk a little bit about what we did. I mean, we had our Thanksgivings.
How was yours? Was yours controversial?
Mine was controversial simply because the family got into a big fight of when do you have Thanksgiving dinner. A lot of people do that in the afternoon, but it is Thanksgiving dinner. When do you do it?
Well, I kind of keep my mouth shut. This year we had the grandparents visiting, and I did zero preparation. And so grandma really took the bull by the horns. So God bless her. We ate at like noon, and I was just like, yep. It was great.
And you go. Yeah. No, we actually had a good time. We went to New York City. We did not spend Thanksgiving Day in New York City, but we went there because my wife is in a new movie called 8-Bit Christmas, which is
it's been promoted to me quite a lot. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been promoted to me quite a lot.
Okay.
I'm aware that June is in 8-Bit Christmas on Netflix.
Hashtag 8-Bit Xmas. No, Rob. HBO Max.
HBO Max.
Hey,
so she's
not Netflix. It's HBO Max.
So she's a colleague of mine.
Oh yeah, because you are in Sex Lives of a teenage
college girls.
Not of teenage girls, college girls, and tonight
Sex Lives of teenage girls.
But you are in Sex Lives of college girls, and tonight is the premiere of the Parent Teacher Weekend, right?
I think Parents Weekend. I think that's been on for a week, but I was just trying to plug it. But yeah, the show, people really like that show, which is awesome. I'm excited.
People are loving that show.
I don't want to take away from 8-Bit Christmas. 8-Bit Christmas is a movie on HBO Max. And
on HBO Max.
Now let me ask you this. If I tune in with my child, are there going to be words like fuck or pussy or
it's a PG-13 movie with full frontal. But here's what.
Wait a second.
Hold on. Hear me out.
I don't want to see Santa's penis.
It's not Santa. It's a guy dressed as Santa. Now, and it's not sexual. It was clinical. There's a sequence in it where there's a chase scene, and the boy runs through a doctor's office where a man is getting a prostate exam or hernia exam, I should say. And so that's how you see it. You don't see it in any sexual way. So it retained the PG rating.
Okay, so you went to New York and you went to the premiere,
and the doctor says like this. The doctor says, "I'm gonna, just give me a ho ho ho." So so the doctor puts his hand under the undercarriage. Just
Santa's it's implied.
Like, yeah. But it was not implied because you actually see it. It's a close up on the hand.
But is my daughter? If I watch that with my daughter, who's 5, is she gonna say? Is she gonna say, why are they putting their hands in Santa's bum bum?
No, because it's the front bum. I will tell you this much, Rob. The premiere in New York was really kind of interesting and special because they really can't do very big premieres right now just because of COVID and the safety and all that sort of stuff. So what they've been doing is finding different ways to do it. So they have done a lot of these screenings all across the country of 8-Bit Christmas on HBO Max. And
you keep saying the full name and where it's airing. That's not how normal people talk.
No big deal. Hashtag 8-Bit Xmas. So what they did was there's a new place in New York called Hudson Pier, or not Hudson Pier. I don't know what it's called. It's beautiful. It's this like a kind of this gorgeous mall, an outdoor mall, like on the river. And they did an outdoor screening. And the day that they did the outdoor screening, it was frigid. Like it was just
an outdoor screening.
An outdoor screening. So they had set up all these chairs outdoors, and all these people were like milling in to the premiere and were bundled up in scarves and hats, and they give everyone in the audience blankets and hand warmers because it was so cold that it was like we took off our jackets to take some pictures like on the premiere press line, and I was immediately like free. I was like, I need that jacket back.
Yeah, like I forget, man, how like living in New York makes you such a like hardy person, and then like you come out to LA and you just immediately adapt to like you just become soft.
Well,
like you go back to New York and you're like, oh fuck.
I said to June, I said to her, I was like, oh well, no one's gonna watch this movie in the freezing cold. And we bumped into 2 people on the street while we were in New York who were like, oh my gosh, I saw your premiere. I was at the premiere. We're like, wait, really? And they're like, yeah, they were out.
And people in the chat want to know who was the most famous person at the premiere.
I think it probably was June.
No. I mean, Paul, I mean, no offense. I mean, June is famous, but if I go to the premiere, I want to see like, someone like Harry Connick Jr., someone very famous.
Well, okay. Well, first of all, Harry Connick Jr. was not invited. I do not invite that kind of Cajun asshole out to anything. All right. I would be honest, if we weren't on Twitch, I'd call him a Cajun cocksuckers, which I call him off air.
Don't do it. Don't do it on Twitch. Don't do it.
Okay, I won't say it on Twitch. So, but that.
What about Steve Zahn? Was Steve Zahn there?
Steve was not there. Steve was promoting it in a different location. They had premieres in Chicago and New York. And
the cast can't be together for national security reasons.
Well, that's the whole thing. They know that this is an ensemble that that really if it's like the Friends ensemble, they never are allowed to be on the same flight or bus. Most people did. Yeah.
Let me ask you this, and I don't want to get too personal here, but sure, I've heard that in love scenes with Steve Zahn, sometimes it gets a little, shall I say, realistic. This
is the thing. And
Steve is a very method actor, and he likes he likes to really, he gets
what you're saying. Yes. What you're saying. Yes. Well, here's the thing. I'm, obviously I'm an actor as well, married to a woman who's an actress.
What do I know you from mostly?
Oh my gosh. Have you ever seen a T-Mobile commercial? Ever seen one of these T-Mobile commercials?
I try not to watch commercials. I fast forward through commercials.
That's primarily the thing that I'm known for.
By the way, did you like when I said that at Largo? We did a live show earlier this week, and we were doing a thing where Paul was on stage and we were all heckling him, and I said, do the T-Mobile commercial.
So June shot these scenes of Steve that were not in the movie. She prepared me at great length that she was going to have these kind of like more graphic sex scenes, and at one point she revealed to me, but they're not in the movie. They're more for character development stuff.
I've never heard of
her and Steve were method. And so as an, look, I'm married to an actress. I am an actor, so I understand it. I wasn't like so like, I normally am like, just want you to keep that stuff on screen. Yeah. But she said it was good for her performance. I gotta say she's fantastic in the film, so maybe it worked,
Part of the process, maybe part of her process.
Yes. But seriously, the movie is actually
I've
very,
heard
very
it's great. I've heard it's
good.
great. I just didn't know if I should watch it with my daughter. My daughter
I
is
think your daughter would love it, honestly, because my 5-year-old loves it.
I watch Sex Lives of College Girls with my daughter because she likes.
Yeah, that's a little bit older, yeah.
Well, she likes college and she likes drinking and likes to see what it's going to be like when she goes to college. But I wasn't sure if 8-Bit Christmas would be appropriate.
No, well, look, Rob, I don't think that Sex Lives of College Girls is appropriate for a 5-year-old, but yeah, I'm gonna say that my kids really love it, and they get mad at my wife for doing some things in the film, and they have a lot of questions about the kids in the movie. But I would say conservatively, I've seen the movie about 6 times in a week, and I would say that my children have seen the movie 15 to 20 times.
Wow.
And not because their mom is in it, they will tell you that she's not their favorite character. Okay. But they're excited that she's in it, but they're tuning in for the kids. The kids are the star of the show. But Rob, I will tell you this: if you have kids, if it's actually, I was talking about this today with the director, it is truly like a good family movie. Like it's so rare like that you can sit down and watch a movie that you can enjoy and your kids can enjoy. It's very funny. It's good. The ending really will get you. It will sneak up on you there.
Do they all die? June die? Yeah. Just tell me if June dies. Does June get like?
Well, but all right, I'll tell you how it ends. June is killed by a predator.
What?
From the movie
Predator?
The movie Predator. Yeah, the movie takes place in the 80s, and so the predator is loose, and the predator does attack her for sport. Yeah, for sport.
Okay, well,
it's a crazy thing, but that's HBO Max is kind of mixing up their genres. It's like Alien v Predator. This is like 8-Bit Christmas v Predator, and I guess I imagine because you're on HBO Max too, the Predator will make its way
into Sex Lives of College Girls. There is I did hear because that is a property of theirs, the Predator is supposed to cross over into Sex Lives of College Girls.
And I just hope that you survive. I don't know if you've finished it, but we do have our first guest here, and it looks like the technical. I'm hoping that he does not have technical difficulties. I know that I think he looks good. He said hands are up. He's excited.
Can't wait.
Our first performer. I want to just read some of his credits because they are amazing.
His IMDb. I looked him up on IMDb. Xander has like 270 credits. It's the most amount of movies I've ever seen.
And they're all good. Like
it's
all
stuff Yeah, it's not like
24, Air Force One, Terminator 2, classic Shanghai Noon, Walking Dead. Like he's been in so many great things. Like I said before, a legend, a simple legend, been in Hollywood for a very long time. Now he lives in a beautiful spot, but has worked with Mr. T, has worked with them all, Mr. T and Harrison Ford. I mean, and everybody in between. Please welcome Xander Berkeley.
Hey,
Xander, look at you.
There he is.
I'm in a spot. I'm in Maine, man.
I love
it.
Now, am I glitching because I'm in Maine?
You're not. You are not glitching. You look. I would imagine that you live on a I'm going to say a preserve, a farm where internet is hard to come by. Like I imagine there's antenna TVs. You have a very artistic family. You have, everybody. I imagine that this is that just going live streaming is not something that you're doing often in Maine.
No, live streaming is more this than that, and because we are right on a promontory facing the bay out into the great Atlantic Ocean, I got as far away from LA as I could, man. It was nothing personal. Not that way.
How long have you lived in Maine, Xander?
Well, we got our farm a ways in the countryside about 8 years ago, and we would come every summer, and I would book myself out, and I felt such freedom just suddenly be able to say. And agents would say, what do you mean you're booked out? And I said, well, just imagine I had a job. I was on a film for a few months. And because Sarah was still working at the time, my marvelous, talented, brilliant, beautiful wife, Sarah Clark, who I'm sure everybody knows.
Yes, we do.
And she was working on Bosch and it was going back. And so I was determined to just stay there for the kids through the whole summer. And it was like getting my first little piece of real freedom. back, and then we would stay each summer for a few summers, and we fell so madly in love with it here that we kind of couldn't bear to go back. And in August, just when the harvest is coming in, the leaves are about to turn, there's a crispness in the air, and then you're back in the blacktop of LA with your kids with painted green go into the bleached heat of Los Angeles, you Celtics.
It's crazy because we were just spending the holidays back east, and not that we were in any place as rural as that, but we were able to play like football in the street. And when we came back, my son, who we call Vanilla Ice here on the show, Vanilla Ice is like, "Can we do that again?" And I was like, "No, there's no way that we can go out into the street. You will be run over by a car." Because we are on a ways street where the cars are just like, it's a shortcut. Just like,
one of the other things I was reflecting with my sister today, because her daughter, my niece, moved to LA, and I met her once at a dinner when she was staying during her Bennington residence in LA, and she was just, we're talking about how hideous things like going to the DMV or getting things renewed, just all of that civil stuff that's so uncivil in Los Angeles. I don't know if you ever applied for unemployment along the way to fill the gaps. I did it a long time ago, and it was such a hideous ordeal. That you just people have crummy jobs, and they're taking it out on you. How crummy their jobs are. You move to a place like Maine, and suddenly it's like everybody sees every exchange as an opportunity for a moment of joy, and you have these pleasant, beautiful experiences with people, just doing ordinary things like getting your license renewed or getting your taxes paid or whatever it is. And it's like, oh, life is beautiful after all.
Doesn't Stephen King live in Maine? Is he sort of the famous?
He lives more in Maine than anybody in the business.
He really staked out Maine as his residency. I mean, and everything is like, I think Castle Rock is like kind of he has like a fictitious Maine place where a lot of his characters kind of go in between. I forget, it's not Castle Rock.
That's because we haven't got tax incentives for film here yet. No Stephen King movie has ever been made in the state of Maine, and I'm here to change that for him.
You got to get that.
Wait, and all of my friends.
Xander, I was going to say that when we first met, we met on a movie called Year One. It was a Harold Ramis movie, and it was an incredibly fun cast and a great time. And when I got to meet you back in LA or see you back in LA, one of the things I was so blown away by is how artistic you are. You are, besides being a great actor, you are also incredibly great with your hands. From building, from doing art to even building like prosthetics and things of that nature. Like, do you find yourself now actually more creative in Maine? Oh, look at this!
Wow. You know what? I just happen to have a prop I made for the movie I just wrapped in Montana called Butcher's Crossing. My wife Sarah's been working on a documentary about the return of the buffalo into Montana and into Canada by the Blackfeet Indian, and I just did a film where I'm decimating the last herd of the buffalo in the 1870s. A beautiful balance.
Beautiful,
I was the one-handed mule team driver, Paul.
Wait, you were the one-handed mule team driver?
Yeah, you think that stuff is easy?
Wait, now, okay, so wait, I want to talk, because this is a movie with Nick Cage. I've now worked with Nick Cage. You have worked with Nick Cage.
5 times.
I played Nick Cage. Listen to this connection. I played Nick Cage in a movie that Alex Fernie directed. Our next guest.
Who was our next guest? Oh,
yeah. Wow. Do you want him to come on now?
No.
I go? I was finishing my prop. Do you have another guest?
How dare us?
Wait, I don't know if I really put it together. 5 times you have gone in with Nick, and I will tell you this much: my experience with him was incredibly different than what I expected it to be. Like, I expected him to be this bombastic kind of, I don't even know. Like, I just, I think that the perception of him or the memification of him is one thing, but I think the thing that I was so surprised at is how like conscious he is as an actor and how much he like really works on his craft, or at least in my experience, like how serious he is about it. Like, he is deadly serious, and he's working and doing a lot of. It was really fascinating to see. I think people just think he like kind of just shows up and goes nuts, but he's he's in there, like working.
Well, I can't remember the first movie I did with him, but the ones that I did were Leaving Las Vegas and The Rock and
right, you were in The Rock,
Kick-Ass, and did he was so awesome in Kick-Ass. It was such a great return to form for him because he'll do a lot of different things. He takes a lot of risks, and then the other one was the last one that we did together. It was the first time we actually had real scenes. We had a scene together in The Rock, but it was just fleeting. I was putting an atropine needle into something. I can't remember, but it was all very adrenalized. But it was in a movie that was originally titled a Roger Donaldson film set in New Orleans, and got to do some research, and it was going to be so cool. And it was originally called The Hungry Rabbit Jumps. And for some reason, the producer, whatever it is, somewhere along the line, they get scared of a title like that. And then change it to something, Seeking Justice. Oh my God. If there was ever a title of a movie you wouldn't want to see, it's like that's what like Nick said. It's like that's what every movie's about. Like why did they take the good titles? And I actually uttered the title line and I was excited. But no, we had a great scene together in that one. And it was so funny because he said, I get why they keep putting us in the same movie. It's like, that's so generous, giving me big parts in the movie she was starring. And he says, because we're of the same tribe. We're of the psycho ferret. And he starts, stop. No more descriptive. Are we in that tribe? Is that our tribe?
Xander, you did. I used to do a show at UCB here in LA called The Shit Show, where people would come on. Did. Yeah, people would come on, and the bit of the show for people that hadn't ever seen it, people would come on the show. It was a live show, and you had to show a clip of one of the craziest things you've ever been in. The worst thing. Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but one of the worst things you've ever been in. And I feel like you had your roster of crazy projects was so deep, but it was all stuff from like the 80s. I feel like it was like weird fight scenes from like the A-Team or something like that. Or like
TV was terrible in the 80s, and I was like back from doing kind of cool movies because it happened to be a golden era for independent film. Yeah. For TV, it was, what's the alchemical opposite of gold? Lead. Yeah. It was leaden time. Yeah. For television. And I can remember just like everything was like, you go to the, where usually with a film, the costume fitting is one of the joys of the job, where you find the character and you try on, you feel the shoes and and it was always in the 80s, like, there's this shirt we thought you'd be wearing. And I go, no, not I'm allergic to poly. and everything was just sort of bad taste in every way. And they would always ask you to hold the props up really high so they could get it in the same shot. And you go, really? Would a person do this? And then everything, your instincts would be proven again and again that you were right. You shouldn't have done that.
But you have the distinction of being on the A-Team twice, and was it the same year?
Well,
as two different characters.
I didn't want to repeat myself from The Shit Show, but there's probably a totally different audience.
Oh yeah, it's a very
totally different audience.
Yeah, I'll just cut to the punchline that you're probably feeling like is a good go-to line when Mr. T was sitting on top of me, having suddenly goes, "Say, didn't I tie you up about 5-6 episodes ago?" and I said, "Yeah, T, I can't lie to you."
I do love that you were going from like movies like Sid and Nancy, and then you were, but then, I mean, your IMDb, would you ever write a book about everything? Because it's like, I mean, I look at it all the time and I'm like, oh, well, you're on Moonlighting. I just read a great book about Moonlighting, like an oral history of Moonlighting, which was fantastic. But we lost him to the Atlantic Ocean. Mr. T ended the call, as Belcher Green Lantern said.
Didn't I tie you up 5 or 6 episodes ago?
Oh, there he is.
I knew I shouldn't tell the T story again, because then all of a sudden I started like not.
Yeah. The universe.
Mr. T shut you down. He took you out. But
Xander, what's what I wanted to tell?
Oh yeah, please.
Another 80s TV story, and actually it's the TV. Did you ever watch the show V?
Yes. Wasn't that about like aliens? Like aliens attack the Earth or something like that? Or we're infiltrating society or something?
I think it was. And
I remember being very scared of it as a kid because it was as if aliens came down to Earth and they took over the planet. Like the government was run by like lizard people or something like that. I feel like that because there was Alien Nation, which was different.
People are asking if you got eaten by a sandworm. Did you get eaten by a sandworm in V?
That, here's the thing. Paul and I had a brief exchange about this. In the beginning of your career, you're so eager to please everybody that you're willing to risk your own life. You're willing to sacrifice everything to get the next gig, to stay in the game.
Yes.
Because you got one little paw up on the couch and you just want to climb the rest of the way up, and you want to just be able to just be there with everybody. And I never really had star aspirations. Maybe, I don't know, but I was always a little approach avoidance about fame, but I was definitely clear about wanting to be in the game. Right. And so I was willing to do what they wanted me to do in every situation. And because I'd been a jock when I was really young, and I baled hay in between, and I was a little bit of a daredevil doing stupid stunts, that I was willing to sort of prove myself on that front as well as an actor. In the theater, you don't really have to risk your life in the theater. You don't have to be super macho. It's for the most part, like I caught a little glimpse of your singing earlier. It's not about being super macho.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I was playing that very macho, but yeah.
The big switch from New York to LA is kind of like suddenly you've got like hardcore people that are doing the special effects stuff on you, that are stringing up. Now, you guys probably aren't old enough to have been shot many times by squibs.
Squibs, yeah, we did. Didn't we do some squibs, Scheer, on Human Giant? Maybe
we've done some squibs, and squibs are very scary. But I think we came in the very tail end of squibs.
Yeah,
because they
were condoms.
Yeah,
filled with blood.
Yeah,
and that's already, and then gunpowder.
Right,
and they're up against your skin, and there's a little bit of a. They always say you won't feel anything, mate. It's just a little. Yeah, that's gunpowder exploding this way, and it makes loud explosions as it.
And you're attached to like a man who's sitting in the corner with like a control box, who's like button
pop,
to hit each one.
A piece of wood. If it's a Corman movie, and a lot of the movies that I did, it's a piece of wood with a bunch of rusty nails sticking out of it, and they're there with the wires, and they're going, and they tell you beforehand, okay, so here's going to be like this, ba-boom, boom, boom, ba-boom, boom, boom. So I'm going to go da-doom, doom, doom, and it's going to go ba-boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
and you have to act, and you're scared, and but you also want to be this type of person who's like, I'm a team player. I'm going to do it. I want to do it the right way. I want it to look good.
And I'm not.
I'm not a pussy. Yeah. I've
because they really kind of put that one out there. They float that one out there. Like, you're not going to be a pussy, are you?
Yeah. I got called out on a commercial one time. I did this commercial for Call of Duty, which is a video game, and it ended up being like a 2-minute short film it's now on YouTube, but it was a thing where it was shot up in like Palmdale in the Call of Duty. Yes.
Okay.
And we shot it out in the desert, like up in Palmdale, and I had to do all of these crazy stunts. Like I had to zip line across this old hotel, and as I zip line across, there's a huge fireball, an explosion, and I'm supposed to zip line through the fireball. So the first time we did it, like the fireball goes off, I go right through it. It burned like all the hair on my neck and on my arms. And the director was like, "It's amazing. That looks so cool. Can we do it again?" And I was like, "What?" Like I was getting married in like 2 weeks, and the hair was all burned off the back of my head. And then, so I go back up on this tower to zip line across again. And like, there was no safety harness. Like, it was me hanging on to like a little T-bar. And I finally said, like, is there any way to get like a safety harness? And the stunt guy was like, oh, dude, okay. Can we get a safety harness for the actor? Like kind of like dragging me a little bit. And like, I don't know. It was just one of those times where I remember where I was like, oh, I could easily get hurt on this, like there are just some things where, and I didn't get hurt and I, I was paid well and whatever, but it was one of those times where I was like, I'm in some danger here. It's crazy.
I think that people put you in these situations where they want the thing to look good and they know it will look good if you're in it, but you have to, but there's so many pieces that need to be together. Like I did a thing with a very famous actor from the 80s who was on many of those leaden shows that you described. And we had a fight scene. And in this fight scene, they were like, well, you'll do this and you do this. And the 80s actor was like, you know what? I know how to do this. I used to choreograph my own fight scenes. And the stunt director brought me over here. And he's like, all right, just so you know, he's from the 80s. When he says he choreographed his own fight scenes, that means he just used to punch the stuntmen in the face.
He used to fight guys.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, he wasn't pulling his punches and the stunt guys took it. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, trust me. He's like, watch yourself. And and we get up to do this fight. And this guy clocked me in the nose so hard, I thought I had a broken nose because he just hauled off and hit me in the face. I was like, there was no anything. And he was like, you're good. Right, you're good. I was like, no, I'm not good.
No. Well, the person that broke, I can't say it out loud, but
yes, of course. Yes.
Yeah. But I'm not going to go into that story because it's more interesting to tell the ones about the guys that were like what you're talking about, those 80s guys that would just chip a tooth or break a rib.
Yeah.
Or and then the two broken elbows that I have, the little bones, so that every time you
yeah,
but the V, I got to get back to my V story because it's so ridiculous, and it is. I thought of it for you guys because it's funny, and it's absurd, and the alien thing, and I'm playing a guy as a doctor who's gone mad and wants to, he's ready to he's done, and he's going to give it up, and he's going to throw himself into the sand pit. Where it's not a worm. Hello. I think it was a land shark. It was a shark because what they had was a track with a fin coming towards me through the sand. But get this, of course, this isn't something like Robson. They may have been able to test out that zip line. Like maybe the stunt guy got up there and put the harness or not. Did it a couple of times. This is one that they set up and could not have done before. Because it was the sand pit was filled, but they built a hydraulic under the sand pit, dug a cave, and had, for when I would commit suicide, I had to wander out and somehow, while looking crazy, which always involves looking up, not down. I think I had to still, through my peripheral vision, see when I hit my mark, which is very important. And see the shark fin coming at me at a clip and not give a shit. Because I'm going down, baby. I'm in the sand pit, which is like a quicksand pit. And so the minute I hit the mark, it starts to go down. But now sand is heavy, and it would just into the hydraulic chamber below if they didn't fill it with vermiculite, which is a very fine packing powder. It looks like sand. Okay, so and when you go out, you can't even tell, but the mark's there. Tiny little mark is there, but otherwise it all looks like sand. And I'm going, okay, so but I'm so focused on being crazy and not giving a shit if I live or die like my character. Secretly, I really did care.
Yeah.
But it was as if I didn't, because I'm so eager to please and play my character well. And so I'm going and I wander out, and it's all like we've sort of rehearsed it over here, but now we're going to do it there because we can't mess up the sand. It'll take forever to get the Zen garden right. So, all right, so it's just a oneer. Okay, so we got a couple of cameras rolling, I think, and pressure's on. And so you want to be really real and really crazy. And I'm thinking, just as I'm about to go, like, okay, I'm going to see that shark fin coming towards me, and I don't care, man, until I go down. And then the director and I both agreed that when it starts biting my legs off, theoretically, that I should care. And suddenly, as I go down. Well, I certainly wasn't thinking about the vermiculite thing.
Okay.
And I wasn't thinking about the hydraulics or the fact that there's a gigantic baggie with an elastic band that's in the middle of that. So as I go down on this little elevator in the sand, and it slowly holds all the sand vermiculite in.
Oh no!
As it sweeps up around me, and I'm going, and then the next thing I know, cut to I'm in this underground chamber, and there are the special effects people wearing full-on gas masks, with oxygen tanks and everything,
and you have nothing.
And I'm like,
God,
pulling vermiculite out of my nose, out of my ears, out of my eyes, and just gagging for like 20 minutes in this chamber, and they're worried about the little fine particles that are floating around. And it's not to blame anyone, because there's so many times that I, like what Rod's saying, like I've gone out there and I'm just in my character, and I got my shirt open, and I don't care, man. And I'm like the badass psycho. And I realize that they're about to shoot through the door. And I'm just so intent on impressing everybody with my ability to fly backwards.
Right.
Towards camera, that I don't really take in until it's a few times that this huge explosion, and I'm saying, so what is actually going to be exploding towards me? Because the camera crew is all behind me with plexiglass, with ear protection helmets, about 20 feet back there, and I'm there with my shirt open, bare chest, and I'm just going like I've got a gun or something, and I'm like taunting the good guys on the other side of the door, and they're about to and I that on that occasion, I actually, like Rob, I wasn't getting married in a week, but I was planning to live.
Right. Yeah.
And the next thing I know, I'm being rushed to the hospital because I breathed all of this insane soap powder, gunpowder at close proximity, and I've reacted, and my throat's swollen up, and I can't swallow or breathe. And it's like these things that you don't even think about. Like, can somebody show me what this is going to be like, so you can have the explosion right there next to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what I do now. Like if I'm in a weird situation like that, where I'm like, I don't know if this is great, I'll just say, like, can one of the stunt guys do it first, and then I'll do it? Like, you just sort of, you make them do it so they know, like, this is going to be fucked up, you guys. Like, we have to think about, because sometimes, you like there is that pressure to just be easy to work with, and to be likable, and to get rehired, and to like impress them or whatever. But then you're also like, I gotta live.
Like, you don't want this to kill you. And I think, Xander, you and I were talking about this offline a little bit, but this, for people who don't know what happened in New Mexico a couple of weeks ago, I'm sure some people have probably followed it to a certain degree and some people haven't, but it's like, there is a Western film being shot called Rust in New Mexico, and Alec Baldwin's in this film. And during the rehearsal of a scene, a gun went off that had a live round. And a live round, just to talk about this, should never be on a set, is never on a set. Like, there to have a live bullet like on a set, like we can get into all that sort of thing. And the DP of that film, Halyna Hutchins, was killed because this gun went off. And it's been this really a big story. It's something that I as an actor have been obviously very interested in. I also knew Halyna and worked with her in her last film in a scene that was incredibly intense with guns, and it was a Russian roulette scene, and I have that connection there as well. But there's so much going on here, and I think it's brought an interesting point of view, or like it's shined a light on safety here, and the story is still kind of developing, and there's new details all the time. But I just wanted to talk about that with you, because I actually know that you also worked with. Did you work with the armor of that movie on your movie?
But more than that, because he's already been besieged by everybody was sort of like anyhow related to that film, and it's just such a horrible tragedy. And it it's like on a show like this, you guys are so amazing the way you just keep everything so light, and I don't know, I haven't watched enough of everything to know if you ever get heavy, but this is so heavy. And I my heart breaks for everybody involved. I'm friends with Anjul, who was one of the writer producers, was going to start. It was like the biggest thing of it, like, and I just kept thinking about, oh my God, this guy got to the pinnacle of like where he's ever wanted to be. And then like the next day, it's a devastating horror tragedy, and producers and everybody being thrown into the butt because everybody, it's a natural impulse to want to find someone to blame for this. But
yes,
part of the conversation we're having is that we do not have desk jobs. We do not have safe jobs. We do not have predictable existences. And we're all, I think Helena Hutchins was quoted as saying that we're all adrenaline junkies. And on a certain level, I think we have to acknowledge that we are in pursuit of realism on film. There's a craziness that I don't think people are at all aware of. And I noticed in the threads that started to come out, a lot of people that armchair experts about guns and all the rest of it. Yeah, but this is different what we do. And you're right. We don't have live rounds. We have blanks, and we should I was going to get to another 80s story where I had to, they kept upping the load of the size of the explosion of my chest being blown out in a dream sequence. And so it's a dream sequence in a movie about horrific dreams. And so they really wanted to go for it. And back then they didn't have the special effects. They do now.
Yeah.
Like Rambo 4 is all blood squibs. It's like it's all done in post.
That anymore because it costs too much money to have another shirt each take and to take the time. It's actually cheaper. And like I don't want to. Sorry, it's hard to switch because it's once you talk about her and the loss.
Yeah, no, it's
and I didn't not to like listen to that thing, but I think you said one thing that's want to like underline there too. I think that people are looking for a very easy scapegoat to be like, this is what and also on top of that, not also recognizing the effect that has on everyone involved, and it's not just a one-on-one relationship. It's the crews are families. And sets are, I should say, are families, and everyone who is involved there, like the trauma that is, and the ripples that, and everyone works so hard to make sure everything is safe. And there's nothing cavalier about it. And I've read a lot, like you said, a lot of armchair experts going, well, that would never happen. And everyone's telling. I said to June the other day, it's like I have opinions about certain things in politics. I have opinions about things that are social issues. I've not done the work in any of the, like I've tried, but I'm like, I've not devoted my life to that. And this is like one of those things where I've been like, oh, I've been in enough of these situations where I know that everything these people are saying is wrong because it's too simple. Well, you shouldn't have this and you shouldn't have that. And it's just not. And I think that's just an interesting thing to make sure that people do know about this story. It's not just a black and white situation.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the things that we're talking about before, like Rob's story, mine, and a million more, are the things that the risks we take all the time, and that it's just like, how do we all drive in opposite directions at high speeds and not cream each other all the time? It's a miracle, and somehow it's a miracle that the things that we do, and that there aren't more fatalities and more horrible accidents, and they did kind of calculate it in. I did notice at a certain point, because I have died, like I do have a death reel on YouTube that's on me. I've died a bunch of times. And
we got to show your death
reel. I'll pull it up.
You know about my death. Well, anyway, enough times to where you kind of begin to wonder, like, what a weird coincidence. They're shooting my death scene on the last day of shooting. For me, that's my rap day.
Right. Yeah, of course.
Right.
That's so wild. That's so perfect, because I'm dying and then I'm finished. And
but it's clearly because they want to make sure that
so they've got me picture wrapped. So they've got everything in the can that
the movie needs.
Because not so sure how this is gonna go.
Yeah. I mean, part of it too is that, I mean, and I don't mean to to kick this around too much, but like part of it too is that I do think that there is now I've worked on movies that have been shot in 12 days. You can, and once they know, the studios, the streamer, whoever, once they know that you can make a movie in 12 days, they want fucking every movie made in 12 days,
Yeah.
So
and I mentioned that I grew up in the golden age of, at the same time as they were doing terrible TV, they were doing some pretty great independent films, and they had budgets for them, $5 to $10 million budgets back then, to do a purely clearly an art film.
Yeah.
And now they have $200, $300, $400,000 at the $500,000 if it's really an art film.
Right.
It's like,
right.
If it's not a big tentpole, and then they want to do, and then they'll have movies that are kind of like in between, where they'll have a little bit of money, but not enough to shoot in 18 days.
Right.
With stunts and things, and this movie that I just wrapped, Butcher's Crossing, Western 2. Man, I was just blown away by the level of care that everybody took, and the caution that our producer, Fife Pictures, Molly Connor's just like, look, I care about how this looks, but I care more about everybody being safe.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's always like, you kind of need to know that people that are calling the shots and everything have that as their priority. That
right.
Safety first isn't just a little 2-word motto. And even when OSHA isn't going to show up, or a SAG rep doesn't maybe happen to be there that day, that there's still eyes on this thing going, nobody gets hurt. Nobody gets hurt. And we all say one thing.
I will say one thing too, like just about it and talking about this is like, I think that there is an energy, and whatever, maybe it's just me, but even when it's safe, it's scary,
it's
right?
Still
like
not safe. Yeah.
And like when in this last movie that I did, we were doing a Russian roulette scene, and everything about it was great. It was all safe. It was all incredibly safe. But you put a gun and the barrel has been blanked out, with full, cement, and there's no real bullets and there's nothing. You put a gun to your head and you pull the trigger, regardless of knowing everything is safe. It is it is frightening. And I know that probably Rob and I definitely have this experience with Xander. I know you do too, which is like, inevitably, not only is it the last scene that you're shooting, but it's also the last shot of the day, and you need to get it in 15 minutes because we're going to go overtime if we don't. And then there's an energy of like, we got to go. And you're like, wait, hold on. But you're rigging me with blood, and I got this thing. And it's like, and then it's like, okay, but we're going to get it. And everyone's yelling at each other. And it's like, that energy is also, and again, it's safe, but it's like,
what's inexcusable. And I did a show last year. I could not believe, because I said to them, look, and this is another thing that we've talked a little bit about. I kind of am an advocate for hearing loss and tinnitus among actors, because squibs used to go off right by our head, but guns still do, even if they're blanks. And ear protection, the only real ear protection is over ear protection. And when they're shooting, usually on profile, if it's a big gun, or even they always kind of want it, and they're seeing into your ears. So we're going to use like these little tiny things that you would sleep with, and then we're going to paint it.
Yeah.
So that it looks like there's nothing there, and there is nothing there.
Yeah.
And is still a blank, is still really loud. It's still gunpowder right by your head.
Yeah.
And if you've had to shoot a lot of guns, if you've been shot a lot of times, if you've been doing it for a while consistently over the years, you do have nonstop 24/7 maddening ringing.
Oh, man.
And I'm sorry, that's heavy. And
I appreciate that. I thought there was actually something. I mean, this is not to undercut it, but I will just say that there's something very interesting as a character choice. The new Hawkeye show on Marvel, the Disney Plus show. It's about Hawkeye, post Avengers, and he has hearing loss. And at one point they go, "Oh, how did you lose your hearing?" And they just show a bunch of clips from all the Avenger films. It's like blow up, shooting this, and it's like, and I was like, "Wow, that's so smart." Of course, he's just a human being, and so he's lost his hearing because everything is blown up around him multiple times.
I did not know that. I'm so glad to hear that they've done that, because I don't think people really have any consciousness of that. And it's horrible. You only got 5 senses, and have one of them taken away. And I'm already an old dad. I've got 11 to 15-year-old kids, and I'm already the white lung. I'm father time, I'm dropping them off at school. Who's your grand? Is that you?
Santa.
Santa's here. And then if you, hey, say what? Speak up, goddamn, speak up.
Well, but you do carry that little tin horn, which I do think, you should just,
I got that because I thought it would go with my whole look and my buffalo, because I've only got the one hand. I made this to hide the stump because stumps never work in anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And you're always distracted looking at the stump, and if you could kind of like hide, I thought, as long as I'm driving a mule team with one hand, because you pull up the rein, you need the two hands.
Yeah.
You're out there.
When does Butcher's Crossing come out, and where does that come out?
I don't know, but I think Reagan's going to come out first. Oh,
whoa! You're in a Reagan, but like again, Xander, you're
come out. Did Reagan come out? That's a. There is a movie, and it's like, the one with the other, and then there's another movie that we shot here in May. But Butcher's Crossing, I don't know how long any more it takes, because
I know I have no idea. Like now I shoot stuff and I'm like, does this come out in a year or like next month?
Like next month, because a really good friend of mine here in Maine, Matt Delamater, is doing the new George Clooney movie, and I've kind of like coached him along a little bit, and he's like your guys' age, but he was a banker, and now he's an actor, and he's been an actor for a while, and he's one of the Oxbow Beer Brewing Company is one of their main guys, but he's been acting in the theater in Portland and going into Boston, getting gigs, and he's got one of the main characters in the new George Clooney movie, and it's suddenly like, how do you do, what's a red carpet, man? What do I? And like, I don't know, I was never good at that shit, but I can give him a tip just from, I did The Descendants with Clooney, and I made the mistake of going to the premiere and going down the red carpet right after him, and like you don't want to do it's that one's at the
every photographer is like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, get this guy at it. I was like, oh no, why am I here?
You want to get plenty of room. Let him go.
It's so funny. I mean, there's so much stuff here. Xander, it's so great.
I know we're gonna wrap it up. Just the reason I was mentioning Matt is that just how quickly they just finished shooting this thing, and he's going on this weekend for the big premiere. And it's like, how do they do it that fast?
That's crazy.
It is like it's like a TV schedule now. Yeah, they just get it out and they have to hit deadlines and things. It really is amazing. I mean, June just shot this movie, 8-Bit Christmas, hashtag 8-Bit Xmas. That just wrapped.
What's the name of that?
8-Bit Christmas.
Don't worry, he'll say it several times. He'll mention it a lot.
Will you say June, my love?
I will. She was excited that you were here. But she was excited. They had to hit the deadline of it has to come out at Thanksgiving because it's a Christmas movie, and it just gunned, they just gunned it through. It's like, it's amazing how quickly that came out.
It's like when you're shooting your death scene and they got to wrap in 15 minutes.
Yeah, we gotta go. We gotta get.
You gotta go to your Alex.
So well, we're gonna have him on, but I just know that this is something that I'm glad that we got to talk about some of these issues here, about the bigger issues, and there's a lot of fun issues, but I want to watch with you for a couple of seconds because this death reel is long. But Molly, we've queued it up, and Molly queued up, so we could just watch a couple of choices. Like that's not.
That's not a joke. That ain't gonna happen, man. It's not like I fell from buildings, like you'll see, like I think 3 or 4 times, like a bunch of times. It's me, the stuntman, and the dummy. I go through the window, the stuntman goes through the window, and then the dummy falls.
Oh my God.
But I do the not blinking thing. That's my special. Look at that. 2-2. Whoop.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I fall. Fall well should be my.
You are so clumsy.
Look at this. That was Dabney's foot I fell off of.
Oh my God.
Don't fall off of Dabney's foot. Well,
This.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. I go back. I go way back. See?
Oh my God.
Ouch. That wasn't. Ouch. Fuck that. That was wrong.
Oh.
Well, these are amazing.
Here I almost got killed, Paul. I'll tell you that story someday.
Oh my, Xander, this is insane. Like I said, this is a 10-minute reel that you can see online. I mean, it's
I
every.
took that
I mean,
job because I got hung. Basically, that fucking pigeon flew in my face. Nobody rehearsed that. Yeah, no, I know. It goes on. This is good luck for voiceover commentary. Never show your bloody hands to people; they'll freak out.
Is this cemetery in Pasadena?
Yes.
I live in Pasadena. That looks familiar.
Yeah.
Because I am real sorry. I bet that's a good guy.
Hey, yeah, but I killed his family and a bunch
okay.
of people.
I've done this the first time I saw you.
What's that one? Oh, yeah. That was sexual. That was a little homoerotic.
That was graphic.
And the same guy plays my son in this. There's weird references. Suddenly we're back together again. Only now I'm being crushed.
Oh, here's the sandberg. Here's the sandberg.
Very vermiculite. Open mouth.
Wow. Oh man, well this is great. Everyone should watch this whole thing. This is.
Oh my god,
Xander. Wow.
Is that on YouTube?
Yes, it is called Xander Berkeley Death Reel. We'll put the clip up in the chat and also on the Discord. But Xander, people can follow you on social media. You have an Instagram, you have a Twitter. We're gonna put that up in the chat. People can follow along with you and do all the stuff.
I try to stay current, Paul.
You're on there. I feel like that's how I feel that like I see what you're up to, and I'm so excited that you got to be here and chat with us. It's been a long time coming, and it's great.
And the last thing about the ear thing, Paul, is just that everything should be, I think, CG, visual effects, VFX, and sound effects, and they shouldn't be doing the live rounds, and they got to stop doing that for safety for everybody, and not just for the horrible once every 10 years horrible accidents that can happen with blanks when suddenly there's a live round. God knows how that happens. But for the blanks themselves are very damaging to the ears, and they really need to sacrifice whatever they think. It will save them money, and the amount of time that they spend reloading, dealing with jams, dealing with the gun safety protocols. Just
it will look better. Ryan Johnson said something that I thought was really great online, and it was like, whenever you're trying to get the fire of a gun on camera, it's a 50-50 chance because you're shooting it at such a frame rate that the lens of the camera might be closed, as it's recording it. You miss the thing that you are trying to.
Yeah. Well, that used to happen a lot. And the thing is that they have whole libraries, catalogs of very specific year, make, and model of every gun out there for all you gun freaks that have to have it be super real. Yeah. It's more real if they do that than if they shoot these things and put people's ears and lives in danger. So bless you.
People love you. People love
Thanks,
you. They want you
Xander.
back. So many people have been saying they want you back, and a lot of love for Sarah on this as well. So tell her hi.
Great.
We miss Sarah. We miss you. And
happy holidays, buddy.
Time.
We're going to be making movies in May. We're going to have you both out here.
Oh my gosh, can't wait.
Both and June and everybody.
I can't wait. I'll see you soon. Bye, Xander. Man, that death reel is
great,
amazing.
Guest. Great,
what a
guest, man. I feel like Xander has a podcast or two in him. Like he needs to just all of those stories of, he's got so many great Hollywood stories
on every movie. Because it's like, you look at it. Again, it's just like,
by the way, is Fernie, are we in trouble with Fernie? No,
Fernie is at 6:30. So
it's 6:30. Okay, great.
Yeah. But we I was going to say with Xander, it's like, he has one of those careers that you kind of love because it's always just, he's just doing, he's
like an actor's actor. He's been working forever and will just continue to work. But like, it's that sort of thing of like not being a super famous person, but just fucking working hard all the time, which I think is awesome.
And kind of great too, because like, him, but then when he pops up in him, like I feel like you can,
he looks so different all the time.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And he does all that work. Like I remember he came on NTSF one time and he made his own prosthetic nose. Like he's one of those like true artists. Like he made his own stump holder. Like he's got his things.
Yeah.
So that was so fun.
Cool. I'm worried Fernie's going to come on here and you know, just not. I don't know. I don't want to set a trap.
You don't think that Fernie's not going to? You don't think that Alex Fernie's going to bring the heat?
I hope that he will. I'm worried that he doesn't understand the what he's stepping into. This audience now.
Fernie is a writer. He's a director. He's an actor. Yeah. He's got it all. He's triple threat.
I know. And he directed me. He directed me in a movie called Action Number One, which was about a bunch of people that stole Nick Cage's Action Number One comic book. I played Nick Cage. There were several different actors that played Nick Cage. I played Nick Cage. Cordry played Nick Cage. They had like 10 different people played Nick Cage. Anyway, great director. Has directed me several times. Wrote on Children's Hospital.
Bajillion Dollar Properties. NTSF. Housewives.
Do You Want to See a Dead Body? He cranked out so many episodes of Do You Want to See a Dead Body? He's so funny. But what I'm saying is, he's gonna come. The bar has been set very high. And the audience now has an audience doesn't lower their expectations; they raise their expectations. Do you know what I mean?
So you think we should have flipped the order? You think that? I mean, now he could hear all this.
I'm worried that I'm worried that Fernie's going to have to do something like suck his own dick or something like that. And I don't want that. I don't want
him to even. I don't even want to put that in his head because then we're going to get into trouble with Twitch. I will say this. I don't think you're going to be let down. I think that Alex Fernie's coming in. I think he's going to come in hot.
Oh yeah, I'm not worried about me being let down. You know, I'm worried about
you're worried about the audience,
the country.
Let's just pretend like we didn't have this conversation. You know,
okay.
And we hope,
And let's not jinx it. Let's do a little palate cleanser maybe before we bring him on. Maybe you could.
Wow. Yeah.
Talk about.
I can quickly. I mean, now I feel like we really brought up a lot about that, but okay. But you know what? Let's do a.
Do you want to check in on Amaranth? A lot of people are asking about Amaranth.
All right,
do you want to check in on that?
We have. I mean, I feel like we just built up so much for him. That I feel now.
For sure.
Let me see. I'm going to try to get Amaranth on here really quickly. I mean, I could sing again. She is. By the way, since we last left Amaranth, she has bought a gas station. Too much.
That's true. That's true. She bought a gas station. That's true.
And tonight is her birthday. Today is her birthday. Amaranth's birthday today, and she is going to be doing a sleep stream tonight. A sleep.
What does that mean? She is asleep, but she's peeping. Like
no, she's going to be asleep, and everyone will get to watch her sleep.
Okay.
So
okay.
Molly,
pound for pound. I would like to watch this. Okay.
She's getting ready for the sleep stream.
Okay.
And this is her birthday dance party.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's getting ready for the dance off. And if you pay $25, she's gonna do something with a balloon. There's some Pokemon decorations up there. So she's getting ready. Look, she's just getting ready for the sleep stream. Maybe she's getting ready. She's dancing for her birthday. That's what it says. I do want to check back in on the sleep stream tonight.
Yeah, we can check back in on this. This also might be fucking up Fernie also. You know what I mean?
No, no. Let's bring in Alex Fernie. Alex Fernie, like I said, writer, director, actor. If you're in Los Angeles. Great improviser. His group Convoy are doing pop-ups. We put it up in the chat here. They're doing them all around LA, different locations with different guests, their favorite improvisers. They've had people like Rachel Bloom, Dan Greger, Ann Lane, Betsy Sodero. They're just great. Convoy is one of the best. If you see improv done right, see Convoy, and please welcome Alex Fernie.
Yeah.
Oh,
see,
no, he was asleep.
Oh, Alex Fernie, wake up.
Oh no,
Fernie.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well,
hey guys. Hey, sorry.
Hey, man.
Hey, man.
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right. Wow. Did we catch you at a bad time? You're coming into a hit show. The show is this is a hit. It's a hit show. And
no, I was watching.
And the eyeballs are through the roof this week. Our eyeballs.
It put him to sleep. I mean, this is not all right. Well,
That's all right.
Well, hey man, how are you? You doing good?
Yeah. How are you guys doing?
I'm good. If you I got a bone to pick with you, Fernie, and I'll just go ahead and get it out there because otherwise it'll bother me the whole interview. But like, am I going to be asked to do a convoy show? Because I haven't been. No one has emailed me to do. I live in Los Angeles, and no one's emailed me.
Well, technically, no, you
on the
don't.
spot immediately.
Well, I live in Pasadena, but I'm happy to go to Los Angeles.
It just feels like, you know what, and like maybe we're just trying to be considerate because you live in Pasadena.
Yes, it's like most 10 minutes from
Well, and our shows are at night.
Yeah. You know? Well, we have nighttime in
Pasadena. Does have a curfew, right? It's a 6 p.m. curfew. You can't leave your house.
No, that's not true. That's not true. I don't think that's true. I'm not sure.
I think it's true. I think Paul's right. My understanding is that Pasadena, the sun goes down, the vampires come out.
Fernie, I did you such a disservice for 5 I'm sure you heard, but for 5 minutes predicting that you were going to fuck up this interview and not be a good sub interview.
But only because he knew that it was you.
I would only do that to someone that I like and respect.
Here's the hard thing about that is to toss from someone who has literally been in every movie ever made to someone 30 to 40 improv students, specifically in Los Angeles, kind of like
revere. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It does feel like it feels like a different vibe. It feels like a different vibe.
Yeah. Well, let's start easy. How was your Thanksgiving? Did you stay here in Los Angeles?
Stayed here. Deborah, my wife's family, she's from here. She's third generation Angelino. So we just woke up, watched a little bit of the parade with my daughter, went over to her folks' house.
Cool. Let me ask, can I ask you about this parade? Because I don't know who I watched the parade.
I watched one float. One float got put down. Like there was one float that was too out of control, and so they just like popped it and like deflated it.
Well, I got to tell you, I have two things to say about this parade. First of all, I was there. My dad and I would go every year. My parents are divorced, and so
I'm sorry. I'm sorry about the divorce. I'm sorry.
I'm very sorry to hear about that, Paul.
No, it's okay.
No, is that recent that your parents got divorced?
Yeah, well, it's 3. So anyway, but so the way we kind of split up Thanksgiving is every Thanksgiving morning, I would go with my dad to New York City and we would go see the parade. We get up super early, like leave at 5 a.m, get there. And it was so much fun. But one of the craziest things that we ever saw was the Superman float or the balloon, I should say, not the float, was flying and its hand like ejected from the socket and hit a street lamp, and the street lamp came down into the crowd of people watching the Thanksgiving Day parade. So it was a real traumatic experience to see everyone screaming and running for cover as a New York City street lamp like literally fell into the
caused by crowd of one of the people you should most be able to trust. Of all the people you should expect not to do that.
Yes.
It's those balloons, it's too windy, it's too scary. But here's my issue about that parade, which I've seen many times. This year they tried to make it VR centric. I don't know if you've seen this. So they would play like they had like a Grogu, Baby Yoda for all you fucking assholes out there that want to call him Baby Yoda. They had a Grogu, a balloon, and stuff. And then all of a sudden, the Millennium Falcon is like flying and shooting lasers at TIE fighters. But all that was like VR just for the home audience. So they're like, hey, look, we know this is boring as hell. So we're going to now add like CGI to this parade. It was so weird.
Also deep into it. Like, it's not like Grogu was the first one out. There had been a number of performances before Grogu turned that corner. No hint of that.
And they cut to a person in the audience, like they're like today's parade is sponsored by the Vive, and it was like this guy, like this normal person in the audience, like, puts on their VR glasses and then looks up and like it's so stupid, and then they're like, and then you see the actual parade, and you're seeing all this stuff, and then they take off their glasses, like, whoa. But it was like as an ad inside the parade, but it also didn't make sense because he was there. So it should have been like, I don't know. It just was it was a weird way to like introduce like VR to the mix.
The thing that caught me off guard with the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade, let's call it by its right name, was it started off, and my 3-year-old, I think, is the exact right age where she was like, what is this? This is fucking incredible. the Sesame Street Gang, Blown Away, and you're watching like Annie Live is coming up. Okay, yep, sing tomorrow or whatever going on. And the point where I was like, what is this now? Was when they got to the live performance. They do all the different Broadway shows, and they did the Moulin Rouge performance. It's like 9:15 in the morning. I'm barely awake.
Sexy,
And I was like, this is not morning behavior. This is this is messing with every sort of wavelength I'm on, sitting like in a wholesome, like sipping
with your
tea
child,
with my daughter. And then they're just out there like strutting around, tearing off shirts. Too early for me. It was too early for horniness.
You really don't want to. You want to mix in the horniness a little bit later in the day. They should have a Thanksgiving
right before
evening
Santa.
Day parade. Yeah, exactly. Well, Santa was grinding on the reindeer, which I thought was odd. I mean, it was good. It was good dancing.
Hey, Fernie,
that was earned.
Fernie, are you aware of the fact that Paul's wife June is in a Christmas movie? Did you know about this?
Xmas.
Yes, I was familiar. June and I follow each other on social media, so yes, I was aware.
Yeah. Okay. I was just going to let you know because Paul will mention it.
Look, if you're not subscribed to HBO Max, maybe this is the time. You can check out Dune While It Lasts, King Richard. Oh my gosh, Will Smith is the best. And you know what? A new Christmas tradition is starting on HBO Max right now with 8-Bit Christmas. And you know what? For all those kids out there, like I'm a little too old for that. Well, check out The Secret Life of Sexy College Girls.
That's not the. I'm in the show. I'm in the show, and it's not called The Sexy Girl. Fernie, I thought of you the other day because I went to the Arboretum. With my daughter. The Arboretum is like a big botanical gardens here near Pasadena, and they have a big Christmas light thing, holiday lights, and that's where you and I shot a pilot, another failed pilot that I've done 500 failed pilots, but Fernie and I shot a pilot that Tom and Ben wrote. It was like
Ben Grant from Reno 911.
And it was called Alabama or USS Alabama. Is that what it was?
USS Alabama. Yeah,
it was sort of like a funny Star Trek type thing.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I was thinking about you.
Funny of ones have been shot and never made, and it bums me out that the only one that has been made is an hour-long Seth MacFarlane one that seemingly no one watches and is not very good. And sadly, I say that with no ill will, but I've just seen that premise done from the Always Sunny guys to you guys. I've tried to develop something in that world, and it's odd that
there's
will
two.
be the reason why.
St. Clair's in two of them, right? She's in the Avenue 5. Is that one?
Oh, that's another one. Yes, that's different though, because that's like less.
It's a cruise ship,
more
right?
like a cruise ship.
Yeah. That's a better premise.
Well, one thing I can always guarantee, if you have Alex Fernie, if you have me on your show.
It will
We're
not
going to talk about failed projects. All right. Like that's an Alex Fernie guarantee there.
Yeah.
Alex, you and I shot a pilot for the Convoy show. Super fun thing. That another home run. Great idea. Easy. Like in the vein of Reno by the guys who made Reno with a new crop of guys. The Convoy guy. Everything was like check. And then no check. Get out of here.
In every sense, yes. Very solid nose all the way around. And sometimes it's like while I was sleeping, Rob mentioned Action Number 1, which was a movie we did. That one wasn't even a no. That was just an entire company pretended it never got made. And I never heard from them.
It never was released, right?
It was never released.
It is still
a full movie.
If you look me up on IMDb, it is still, I think, number 1, and it still says like in production. It's been number 1 on my list of projects, and it still is in production, I guess.
And it's you know what? Like it's the you guys' Nick Cage stuff is so fun, and there's stuff about it that doesn't work, sure. But it's baffling to me because it was like, this is fun.
Alex, I'm gonna say a couple things about you which is you had an insurmountable task with that movie, and I just know you from as a director, and I know you as a writer, and even if things didn't work in that movie under the constraints that you had, I guarantee you I could probably show you 60 movies very quickly that are worse than it, that had a much wider release. So like, even if it did, like, it's not like, oh, well, you didn't hit the bar, it wasn't released. It was just, I also have a thing. I have a full interactive live action series. It was I made it with the guys from Telltale Games, so who did all like the Walking Dead Telltale games and Guardians games, and it's fully live action. It's got an amazing cast like John Glazer and Ron Funches and Ed Lacey. But gosh, I'm forgetting everybody's name. It's just an amazing cast, shot, fully done with the interactivity. It's a file. Someone could buy it. No one has.
Yep.
It was bought by a company that then decided to make videos for Walmart, and that's all they do now. It just sits on a shelf in the background at this Walmart company, and I'm so mad. I'm like, but you have a whole thing. It's done. Why? What's the harm in release it and don't even promote it? I don't give a shit. Just let it be in the world. There's nothing to upload. It's you don't have to make cover art. You don't have to do anything. Just go.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, we do have posters for it, because they did commission that. So there you go. And it was produced by the Russo brothers, Mike.
But Fernie, you will, I'm sure, for all of the failed projects or failed pilots or whatever, you will have one that's just like, it'll run for 50 years and you'll just be laughing,
I'm trying to make my 60 minutes. That's what I've decided to pivot to. just straight up 60 minutes.
A news magazine
Geared dry, geared for a different demographic than I normally go for.
No comedy. My problem with you, Fernie, is that you work so hard. Fernie works so hard and so fast. When we were doing Do You Want to See a Dead Body, Fernie was writing on the show for me. We had like 4 or 5 writers. Literally, we would come up with a story and be like, okay, great, you go write this, you go write this. Everyone would break up. Fernie would come back like 30 minutes later with like a full-on finished script, and you would think like, oh, okay, this must be garbage. You would read it and it would be like, this is amazing. Like, it was just joke. Like you are a machine.
Fernie was a co-head writer of NTSF at the last season that we did. He was the perfection. It was great. But I also know that, in the time that we worked together, and there's been so much that has happened, you are now you're in the DAG squad. I mean, this is it. This has been a dad energy show here. You have, we talked about your daughter already, but there is you're in that world too, which is it's a whole.
How do you like your daughter? Do you like your daughter?
Yeah, do you like her?
Yeah, she's fine. I kind of like everybody.
Yeah, I would have thought. I would have expected more. I would have.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes look, I got 2 kids and they're pretty good.
Yeah, people are people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm crazy about my daughter. Like I think about her while I'm doing this. I'm thinking about her.
She's great.
Yeah,
you have a great daughter. Oh,
so it's interesting to hear. It's interesting to hear 2 other dads say like,
So my big bit that I do with my one of my sons is always I'm like, and I go, oh, it's a big day today, and he's like, why? I'm like, this is the last day we can return you to the store. Kind of really think about it. I gotta think about it.
I'm really leaning on Santa's watching you right now. Like I'm really realizing how I got to keep my voice down, but I'm realizing how that is such obviously a tool for control. It's just like, oh, really? You're not going to finish your dinner because Santa is watching you. And she's like, okay, I'll finish my dinner.
Yeah. Well, but you have now. You're a 2 holiday household, right, Fernie? You're doing Hanukkah and Christmas, which to me seems like a lot, because right now we're in the middle of Hanukkah. It's tonight the 8th night of Hanukkah, right?
So tonight's the 5th. We got 3 more.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in the 5th night of Hanukkah, and Christmas is coming up in about 2.5 weeks or a couple weeks. So how do you handle what is going on in your household? Because I know a lot of families that are doing the double back-to-back holidays. How do you handle?
Yeah. Well, I think it's going to get worse as she gets older. She's 3 now, and I promised her I would show off the Hanukkah that she made.
Whoa.
Really beautiful. So you can get these, right? I can just she has to do what I say, so we'll make a bunch of these. Just, probably
for 3 years old. That's really good.
That's really good. Wow.
Right now, kind of like what Rob is saying, it gives more opportunity to really try to get her to do stuff. Because she knows there's so many good things coming, and I can fucking take them away just like that. But it flipped as what the other day we have a Christmas tree over there that we got on Saturday. We've been doing Hanukkah. We got the Christmas tree and we talked up Christmas tree day. We're gonna get Christmas tree. It's gonna be great. It's gonna get Christmas. She's so pumped about it. We get it. We decorate it. It's fun. It's set up. And the next morning, I'm in the bedroom. She wakes up and I hear her and she gets up and she's with Deborah and I hear her run out and like from the living room, the saddest voice I've ever heard go, "Oh no, I didn't get any presents," because she had misunderstood and thought she was being punished and getting no presents. So we're like, no, it's fine. It's not Christmas. We had misunderstood. We tried to explain it to her. And then she flipped it on me like 6 hours later. I'm sitting on the couch, we're doing something, and she just goes, "Dada?" And I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "It hurt my feelings when you told me it was Christmas and it wasn't. And I didn't get any presents." And in my head, I'm going like, "You little fuck. You are absolutely finagling more presents out of this."
It is amazing.
Also does with Hanukkah.
It is amazing to watch kids figure out the first thing a human being learns to do is manipulate. Like it is some sort of primal skill that we all have from like, that's the first thing you learn is how to manipulate people to get what you want. It is so incredible. Anyway, you guys should listen to my podcast. It's all about,
it's the podcast is long. It's the only 6-hour podcast. It's bi-weekly. It's 12 hours a week.
It's for commuters. It's for commuters. If you have a long
commute, I mean, that's like a Buffalo to like New York City commute. It's a very specific audience. It's funny because I'm talking a little bit quiet because I don't want wreck the illusion. But my 5-year-old went and took like Amazon so smartly and Target both sent like gift books to the house. Like they're just sort of like, I never get a flyer like this. It's basically just a book full of toys. So it's like kids can't surf the internet, but they can open a thing and be like, that.
Yeah.
So we got those and they were out on the counter, and my youngest took me up to his room and then showed me everything that he wanted. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be on top of this. I'm going to get this. And I get all the stuff that he wanted. And then I find out like 2 weeks later that he also did the same thing to my wife, and then she bought him all the same things. So we have doubles. We are a house of doubles. We did not communicate because we're like, oh, we're just gonna get ahead of it, and I'll be like, I did it, June, and she's like, I did it, Paul. And we're like, wait, and then all of a sudden the same stuff just kept on arriving at the house, and I was like, that was a real tricky move that he pulled to get us both on the side and point. It's the exact same. It was great. It was a great.
People in the chat are calling this show Dad Talk now. They're making fun of us for talking about the people.
All right, tell your James Cameron story, Fernie. What happened when you were in Terminator?
Yeah.
I'm cut out, and I'm still pretty salty about it. And I thought it was a comedy. I read the script. I was like, this is fucking hilarious. So I'll be honest. I went in big. I was doing like a DeLuise thing, and it just didn't mesh.
a DeLuise thing.
You know, when you see me and you're like, that's a dumb DeLuise type.
Yeah,
that's just my vibe.
I always think
unfortunately you get that. Yeah.
Are you guys sad about I have not been to, this is a weird segue. I have not been to any holiday parties in 2 years. Like, is that still a thing? Do people still have, like, I don't think there are, am I missing out on big indoor holiday parties where
do you want me to like make you feel bad, or do you want me to
if you have been to a holiday party, raise your hand. Fuck. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, I've been invited to one. It's too early to go. I mean, or I think it's too early to go to a holiday one. You've been to one.
Hanukkah parties.
Yes. I have a Hanukkah party coming up this Friday.
Okay.
And oddly, a New Year's Eve party or a New Year's party this Saturday. The invite was to come to celebrate the end of the year. It was a very interesting invite. It wasn't like it was non-denominational. It was right. I don't like it. It's too early for that. Like,
I have a hard time.
You're getting in real life spammed on that. You're going to show up and suddenly you're going to open a bunch of bank accounts. You won't know how. It's just going to be a nightmare to get out of it.
I've told this, June and I, the most horrific story that I ever had was, not truly, but holiday wise. We were invited over to a house for like a little Christmas get together, and it was so clearly dictated multiple times. No gifts. Like it's not a gift situation. No gifts. We get there. everyone has bought gifts for everyone except for June and I. And when we realized
we're giving you guys gifts, not just the host,
we got multiple gifts from multiple people. I wanted to like burst out of the wall like a Warner Brothers cartoon. I want to be like, I wanted to run out of fuck you and leave the house. It was not fair. It was not right. We didn't know what to do. And we had to sit there and know that there were presents in front of us that we had to open, that we didn't have anything. And then you don't want to be those people like, well, we said no gifts. Because everyone clearly, it was on another page, but it was so clear. We went back home and we're looking at the emails and going, look, it says it. It was there. It was the worst.
That is really rude. Really.
Have you ever gotten any gifts, Rob, from anybody?
Well, I was gonna ask you guys if you wanted to do like a gift swap this year, a gift exchange.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, yeah.
No, you don't want to, or if I got something for you, would you
get into it?
Yeah,
not really.
Yeah, you can send it over.
Just
if you want.
Because I've been doing a lot of shopping for gifts, and I've thought about you guys and thought about what you would like, and I could see in your background, Fernie, that you're really into clocks, and you're also really into art, and you love tiny little shelves. I can see you love teeny little shelves.
He likes tiny shelves
and pictures, picture frames and trinkets. So, those are just like off the top of my head. These are things that I would go shopping for you. I would probably get more little shelves.
Yeah, I guess my issue is twofold. One is I just don't want to have to get you something, and two, I guess I don't want something in the house that makes me think of you. Like
I like that. Yeah, I feel that same way. Yeah.
That's fair. All right. Well. Yeah, I do know where both of you guys live, so don't be surprised if I drop something off.
What's this? He's in Pasadena. It's dark out. He can't.
Oh yeah, you can't leave the house. That's why you have
10 minutes. I'm 10 minutes away.
Nah, don't worry about it. Fernie, we are putting up in the chat where people can find you and track you down. But more importantly, if you're in LA, people should definitely come see these convoy shows that you're doing, these pop-up convoy shows.
Fernie, where are these shows for real?
Changing all the time.
Yeah, we've done a few different places. December's show, and I think in the new year we're going to do a couple there at the Yard on Melrose and like Heliotrope. It's like John Ennis's theater. It's a nice little theater. It's fun. It's great.
Cool.
Yeah,
I like this. And
we did a show on Tuesday night at Largo. Me and Scheer and Manzukis,
so many great
our other friends. Yeah,
Phil Jackson, Owen Burke,
Phil Jackson. Yeah, and it was so scary, like to perform. It's so weird. I'm still not.
I feel like that was the first show I've gotten out of my head. That's probably like our third or fourth show, and it was like because
total blast. Total like big crowd, so fun, but like I'm still sort of in my head, like in the middle of improvising, I'll be like, "Whoa, what's happening? Why is everyone looking at me?"
It's a weird thing because we went from performing, I'm sure as you did too, performing like once a week, and it was low stakes, it was fun, and you didn't have to worry about advertising or anything. You just kind of showed up, you did your show, and now we are doing it at a different venue, and you have to make sure that people are coming, and it's not guaranteed, and we're doing it once a month, and it's like, and there's more stakes to it, and it's just like, and it was like, oh right, this is pressure. This is a pressure situation, and not like overtly, but it's a different thing that I think, gotten very lucky not to have to do for so long with the UCB.
Yeah, it's like such a long time. Like it's going like, oh, I'm running my own like ticketing thing through Eventbrite, and like, cool. I don't love that, but like, there's also a little bit of me going like, okay, you know what? I really like doing that if I'm putting up with this right now. Whereas I could just be like, just roll in.
Right.
But there's an element of being like, how do I make a poster?
I mean, thank God for Bizarre. Let me ask you this. Do you know who the special guests are going to be for December?
Yeah, this month is going to be Rachel Bloom from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, Dan Greger, Ann Lane, who's a writer on Rick and Morty, Betsy Sidaro, Mano Agapian, Gilly Nassim, and probably a couple of...
Yes, I'm just me and Scheer. It's funny hearing all these other people.
If Paul wants to do it, I know that's convenient,
we'll talk
Paul.
Offline. We're on a big group chat anyway. We'll do that. We're on a big
group. I'm so close. I'm just in Pasadena.
Don't worry about it, Rob. We got to let Fernie go because you got and I'll see you Saturday for the party.
What party? What party? What party?
Don't worry about it. All right. He's out. Bye, Alex Fernie. Follow Alex Fernie on.
He fell asleep.
Rob, I know you have to go in a couple minutes, but I wanted to say,
Yeah.
I wanted to perform a public service announcement because you and I know, I don't know if you partake in this, but it's a stressful time of year for me, which is Elf on the Shelf season. It is, as a parent, it is a constant sword hanging above your head that every day for 25 days, you need to be on the lookout for funny ways that this elf on the shelf can appear. You need to make sure that your kids are constantly surprised. You have to create these things.
Now, can you tell me? Can you back up for a minute, because we haven't done Elf on the Shelf yet. That was something that came up after I was a kid, and I was recently a kid, but now I'm not a kid.
Right. So like when we
haven't done that yet, and I want to do it because it seems fun. But if it's stressful, I don't need that. Is that what you're saying? It's very stressful.
Well, here's the thing. The kids love it. It's one of the best things because what you do is December 1st, the elf on the shelf arrives. And the way that we do it in our family is the elf on the shelf takes the kids' Christmas letters and he leaves them letters. And every day the idea of it is the elf is there overlooking what is going on in the house, making sure that everyone's
there. He's up on like a thing. Do they take him down and play with him, or he's just stationary?
No, you can't touch him. The elf cannot be touched, because if he does, then he loses his power, and then you have to give his power back by using like a cinnamon sugar concoction, and it's a very tricky situation. So you have to respect the elf. You can't touch the elf. But I know a lot of people feel stress because it's like, well, this is kind of corny. I don't want to be a corny person, and I wanted to maybe tonight with you show you some of the configurations that I have done for Elf on the Shelf to make Elf on the Shelf a lot more cooler, if you would. Great. Sorry, I was away there for a second. I'm going to show you. This is so this is obviously Elf on the Shelf is always, here we go. I'll make sure I'm good. Hold on, I'm getting a slight issue, and let's see if that issue clears itself up. We're going to see. Man. I'm getting you know what, Molly, if you have it, I will take it, because I'm my whole screen is frozen. I don't know what's going on. But I think Amaranth has sabotaged me.
But you every day you have to hide Elf on a Shelf in a new place.
Yes, around the house to make sure that that the kids can see it. So now I can't see anything that's going on right now because my entire thing is frozen.
I can tell you this is
right, here I can see a little bit here. Yeah.
He's next to a sign that says free COVID testing.
Right. So I thought that was actually kind of fun, because obviously you want the kids to just, embrace the health and safety of everybody. So I think that's really fun.
Can I say that I think Fernie could play Elf on a Shelf? I think if we put a little elf costume on Fernie, that could be Alex Fernie. Anyway,
look, I think that's a great thing. We should pitch it to him. And I'll tell you this much, Rob. People are saying, why doesn't the elf have a mask on? And this is just because he's in this setting, he's outdoors. So the idea is that every day, Rob, you have to create a fun setting. I'm going to show you some of the fun ones I do, because I'm kind of a cool dad. So let's look at the next one here. This one is a really fun one.
Wait a second.
What?
In a tortilla, like in a taco, or
it's Taco Tuesday. Taco Tuesday, yes. So you want to get again, like, make it fun for the kids.
And the elves also have female elves. Is that true biologically? Are there female elves? I don't
want to get political into that. Some people believe that there is. I mean, I whatever your elf is, whatever they tell you they are. So that's what I say. Yeah. So next one, Molly, I'll show you. Now it starts to get really fun here. Check this one out.
That is fun. Let me ask you about this. If I ate one of the elf's poops, are those candies or is it real poop?
That I do it the right way, which is I go out into the forest and get deer poop, and then I sculpt them into cute little elf poops. And I'll do it again.
You can eat those. You can definitely eat those.
Well, it's it's deer feces, which is not going to kill you.
Okay.
And then here's the next one. And again, pooping is a big thing for the elf. And
there's a lot of poop jokes in your house. It looks like.
I mean, this is a fun one. The kids like this. It's like, because they think they're eating. They're eating that kind of stuff. And then show me the next one, Molly. What do we got here? This is again getting a little bit more rough and tumble.
Okay.
This is and this one,
that's rated PG. I would say that one's PG.
This one is a good one.
Funny.
Yeah. we like this one a lot, which is I farted here in the jar and smell it, and
Yeah,
I
get
get
it.
Kids like that.
Oh, now I get it. I read it and I got it, but now I really get it. I get it.
And then let's see what else we got here. Again, I can't see anything, so I'm just going by the seat.
Oh, you can't. Okay, there's
I'm seeing some stuff.
3 elf butts that were Xeroxed on a Xerox machine.
Funny, right?
Yeah,
funny. Get to see their little asses.
Look at their little butts.
And they got like some tattoos on their asses, and that's kind of.
I didn't even notice that they got tattoos on their asses.
That's something, that's something fun for the families that have the scanners in the house.
Yeah.
And then my next one. Now it's getting a little bit after hours.
It's a little exorcism reference right here. It looks like the elf is chained to his bed, and there's a cross, and there's vomit everywhere.
He's vomiting all over himself. Yeah, so that's a tricky one.
You made this for your kids, and they laughed at this.
They're kind of like, our elf has a pretty strong personality. He's unfiltered, as they say. Sydney Banana Pants doesn't take no for an answer. What's the next one we got here? You can check this one out here. This is
okay. Well, Paul, like, this is, he's selling lemonade, but it's obviously little shots of his
piss.
His
elf piss. Yeah. It's only 25 cents for elf piss. So
this is a lot of production work on a lot of production value in these elf locations, and
you gotta keep it going. So check out this. This is another one I got for. I think this is gonna be up your alley. I think this one's gonna be really
Elf
up your alley
Planetarium tonight's viewing. Wait, so. Well, okay, so he's looking through a telescope at a butt of another elf, and the other elf is laughing at him. This is getting to the point of a pitchable TV show, I would say, Paul.
To me, it's just sort of like making sure these elves have a full life, and that they're sexual, and that they're
characters. Fun. These are well-rounded, differentiated characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a lot of fun character work.
Having a little show.
Molly, what's the next one we got here? This one is a
superhero that I'm not familiar with. I'm sure this is like some Marvel superhero. I don't know.
Well, this is Thanos, and he's already snapped his fingers and turned the elf into dust, because that's what happened in the Avengers movie. He just kind of killed everybody 1, 2, 3. So that's a fun thing for the kids. If you I do that for December 24th. It's not like the elf has gone back to Santa. It's Thanos has killed him.
He's killed him. And did your kids think that was funny, or they didn't get the reference? They didn't get the references.
But I'm now at this point, I'm just kind of losing control. And one more, Molly. Do you have another one here? Maybe the last one. I'm not sure.
Elf fell. Okay. Oh, wait. These are some good ones. We're getting. Okay. This is outline of the murdered elf.
Then we have the dick in the box. Yeah. That's the elf on the shelf.
Get to the dick in the box one. That's
in the box elf. Yeah, this is
and look at his dick. It's a candy cane.
Yeah, candy cane dick. And
Paul. We didn't need to rush through these. We didn't need to rush.
I just wanted to kind of show you all like what we're
now.
Let me
ask you in our household. Let me ask you this. I don't want to get too in the weeds here, but like, is an elf's dick actually a candy cane? I don't know.
Well, first you have to buy a dinner. Right. Wait, man, I still got it, Rob.
Wait, now I got it.
Happy birthday, Amaranth. That was
birthday, Amaranth. Happy birthday, Joe Biden and Amaranth.
It's Joe Biden's birthday today.
No, I think his birthday was like last week or something.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. And if you like what you just watched, subscribe, hit that button, or do this, or do whatever you want to do. And watch us live every week on Twitch, Thursday nights, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.